Monday Night Football. The Chicago Bears travel to New England to take on the Patriots today. I got my favorite player prop, spread pick, same game parlay, and a first touchdown score for this contest. What's going on? My name's Austin from Calling Our Shot. If you're new to the Calling Our Shot channel, we not only do these videos for every primetime game, we do a bunch of other videos for that daily, for the NBA, MLB, you name it. Go down below, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. Before I hop into my favorite player prop, first, a word from our sponsor. This video is sponsored by Game Time. Do you like going to sporting events? So do I, but the hardest part can sometimes be finding a ticket. Well, thanks to Game Time, you no longer have that problem. Game Time is the perfect place to buy those tickets, whether it's to a sporting event, a concert, theater. Game Time has the lowest prices, the best deals, and it's super easy to use. You can even buy tickets up to 90 minutes after the event has even started. If you sign up using our link in the description, you will get $20 off your first purchase over $150. Thanks again to Game Time for sponsoring this video. All right, now that that's over with, let's hop into my player prop for this game. We'll be riding with a guy by the name of Ramondre Stevenson, taking his over 13.5 receiving yards, currently minus 113 on Caesars. Now, I don't think this line goes up a ton, but if it does go up to like 14, 15.5, I'm fine with it there. Although sometimes these lines can be pretty sharp. Just ask the people that tailed my Saquon Barkley's receiving yards prop that ended on the hook on Sunday. Now, Stevenson, he's been a stud this year, and especially over the past couple weeks, largely due to Damian Harris being out. Now, Damian Harris is expected back for this game, but I still think that might slide Stevenson more to a pass-catching role. And not necessarily they're just going to go, oh, Damian Harris, you get all our touches on the ground. I still think that Damian Harris, not known for being a pass-catching running back, Stevenson can do that. He's been doing it over the last 4 weeks. He's at 28, 23, 14, and 15 receiving yards, cashing this in all 4 games. They're targeting him out of the backfield, which is what we want to see. Now, Mac Jones expected back under center, and if it's not him, I'm fine with Bailey Zappi too, but I assume it's going to be Mac. And in his last full game, when I believe he did suffer the injury in, I think, week 3, Stevenson, 28 receiving yards in that game. Damian Harris was active for that one. And I just imagine Mac Jones just psychologically coming back to this game. He doesn't want to get hit. Obviously, you don't want to get hit low either. And I think he's going to see a lot of shorter throws, maybe throwing it to the flats to guys like Stevenson, screenplays, you name it. And Stevenson's going to be in that wheelhouse of that guy running those shorter routes. And ultimately, you look at running backs against the Bears. They've been crushing this line all season long. And it's not just, they're doing it through the air. They're doing it on the ground too. So we'll talk about Ramondre Stevenson in the same game parlay in a second. But here are the running backs that have hit this over versus Chicago. In week 1, no one hit it because it was the 49ers in that wild monsoon game. Very few passing yards. Then week 2, Aaron Jones got it done. Week 3, Damian Pierce and Rex Burkhead. Week 4, Saquon Barkley. Week 5, Dalvin Cook and Alexander Madison. Last week, Antonio Gibson got it done. You see almost one running back is hitting this every single week. And if there's going to be a running back on the Patriots to get it done, probably going to pick Ramondre Stevenson and not Damian Harris or Pierre Strong, who came on last week. All it takes is 1 reception for Ramondre, although I do expect him to see 2, 3, 4. He's had 4 receptions in 3 of the past 4 games. And ultimately, I just think the Bears offense won't be on the field a whole lot. They're 30th in time of possession. That's 3rd worst in the league. And while the Patriots don't necessarily have, the best offense in the NFL, they're still pretty talented. And if the Bears offense can't move the ball on them, we're going to see the Patriots have the ball in their hands a lot, and we'll see them run a lot more plays than maybe they usually do. And all it takes is Ramondre Stevenson catch 1, making a guy miss and getting it done. Like his over 13.5 receiving yards. It's pretty low. Could be a trap, but I think Ramondre gets it done. Now, let's move on to my favorite spread pick, and I'm going to go with this, and you'll understand why in a second. It's going to be on FanDuel, and it's a FanDuel-only specific line. I'm taking the Patriots to win by 1 to 13 points, plus 140 on FanDuel. It's a win margin bet. Now, before you go down below, I know some people don't have this, and honestly, I probably wouldn't bet a spread, but I do like this for the value's sake. And if I had to pick a spread, if you're like Austin, gun in my head, you got to pick one, I honestly lean the Bears to cover, plus 7.5. But I don't want to be sitting back and watching the Bears stink it up. And the good part about this bet is if, 1, we obviously need the Patriots to win, but if, let's say the Bears are down by 20 points in the 4th quarter, they could come back and cheese and backdoor this, and they could be down by 20, lose by 13. This bet cashed for plus 140, whereas they would have not stood a chance cashing the plus 7.5, just the regular spread pick. Now, yes, the Patriots, I do think they win this game at the end of the day, but I just think this plus 140 is the better value than taking a spread pick in this one. This is going to be a dart throw of a game. It's like flipping a coin. Who you think covers the spread in this one? And sure, the Patriots could go out there and spank the heck out of the Bears. It wouldn't surprise a lot of people if the Patriots won by 100 points. But we've seen the Patriots dominate their last 2 weeks. And I think if this were going to be another dominating fashion, this line would have been set at like 10.5. But the fact that it's down to 7, 8.5 on some books I think they're saying the Bears are going to keep this one close. Justin Fields has played decently on Monday Night Football in his career, and he's slowly getting better. I know last week wasn't great on Thursday Night Football, an ugly game. The Bears were able to move the ball up and down the field on the Commanders. They just couldn't punch it in when it mattered the most. And while I'm not saying they're going to suddenly fix that in 1 week, I do think they got a chance against the Patriots. I think Justin Fields and his offense keeps it at least close. And look, I'll take it. If the Bears get blown out, sure, I'll take the L. If the Bears win outright, then that would be hilarious. But I think the Patriots to win by 1 to 13 points for plus 140. I just can't pass it up. I know it's not a normal spread pick. We had a lot of success taking these sort of picks last season, and I just got to take a shot at it. I really don't love either side of the spread in this one, but a 1 to 13 points gives me a good cushion, gives me a good, like, a little, not a teaser kind of, but sort of in a way. So give it to me. I'll take that. Now let's move on to a same game parlay. And it's hard to cook one up for this game. This game isn't the most sexy game on paper. They need to give us some good primetime games. And you would think the Ravens versus Bucks on Thursday Night Football is going to be good, but the Bucks just absolutely stunk it up on Sunday. Let's talk about this SGP. Khalil Herbert under 32.5 rushing yards. David Montgomery alt rushing 40+ rushing yards. Ramondre Steven 50+ rushing yards, and Jacoby Myers 40+ receiving yards. This is plus 538 on FanDuel, and no, this is not the most confident same game parlay I've ever put together. It's hard to really come up with a confident one for this type of game, but I think this one has a chance. And let's talk about Khalil Herbert first. It's only under in the parlay, and I considered making this under rushing yards my official pick. Now, yes, he had like 70 yards rushing last week. 64 of them came on 1 carry. So obviously this is a low line, so Khalil Herbert could go out there, hit the first play, and you're like, all right, well, there goes the SGP. But the rest of his carry didn't do a lot on the ground. We've seen the Patriots defense look decent stopping the run. They were pretty bad the first couple weeks, but they've looked all right stopping the run, especially last week against the Browns. And ultimately, I think he could get it done. Now, he can go under that because Montgomery, the guy that we're taking for 40+ rushing yards, he's on the field a ton. This guy playing over 70% of the snaps. Khalil Herbert's hardly out there. So, look, Montgomery's going to probably, if this game is at least reasonable, he's going to see 10, 15, 20 touches, 20 carries at least, and I think he certainly get us 40+ rushing yards. Just like Khalil Herbert, all it takes is one. He can break off a 25-yarder, and then he's pretty good in the clear. As for Ramondre Stevenson, I know we're on his receiving yards prop. I still think he has a decent game on the ground. Taking him for 50+ rushing yards, like, even if he sees 12 carries, that could be easily enough to get it done against a Bears rushing defense that's really struggled all year long. And even if he only gets 10 carries and we see Damian Harris just slot into the number one guy on this team, I still think they're going to involve Ramondre Stevenson. You don't just have a guy that's been dominating the backfield the last 2 weeks, looking really good, looking like a stud running back, and then you're just like, kick him to the curb. That's just not going to happen. I think Ramondre has a pretty good chance of getting that done, as well as our receiving yard prop. And finally, Jacoby Myers, 40+ receiving yards. Jacoby and Mac Jones, they have the best connection out of all his receivers. And maybe if it's Bailey Zappi, he's got a good connection with Jacoby Myers. He's a trustworthy guy, a guy that's normally got sure hands, doesn't drop a lot of passes, and he's going to be open majority of the time. The Bears secondary, not the best in the league, not the worst, but they've been definitely improving since week 1. But I still think at the end of the day, 40+ receiving yards, pretty juiced for him to just get 40+. I think he certainly can get that done. So that's our 4-leg SGP plus 500 something odds. We'll ride with it. We'll sprinkle on that. And as always, we're going to end it off the first touchdown scorer. And I'm going to go with the guy by the name of Hunter Henry, plus 1,400 on FanDuel. It's a complete dart throw. The lowest odds is Ramondre Stevenson, but Henry's always on those goal line things, where they're on the goal line, whether it's like first and goal on the 3. Hunter Henry's in there blocking. He's a pretty good blocker, but he can also sneak out and get into the back of the end zone and catch one. We've seen him have games with Mac Jones where he's had 2+ touchdowns. Mac Jones normally looks for a guy like Hunter Henry, and I'm not necessarily saying this is an absolute lock. Put your next month's rent on it, but I think there's a chance, just a sprinkle on it, like a 0.1 of a unit, certainly possible. Hunter Henry's good enough to go get a touchdown, be the first touchdown score, plus 1,400. I got to take a sprinkle on that. That'll do it. Enjoy the game. Hopefully we had at least a decent game, a competitive one, and maybe the Patriots win by 1 to 13 points to cash out that spread pick or game pick. Appreciate you guys as always for tuning in. A couple other videos popping up. I'm Austin, and I'm signing out. Peace.